In Emmerdale, Jacob Sugden has finally spoken out about Dr. Caitlin Todd, but the situation took an unexpected turn when she managed to flip things in her favour after he reported her. In recent months, Jacob's time at work has become increasingly tense, as Dr. Todd repeatedly criticised him, often highlighting his errors with harsh comments and ongoing intimidation. Although Kerry Pollard tried to defend him, Jacob previously insisted Todd was simply doing her job. However, his perspective changed when she began intruding into his personal history and private matters. Determined to act, Jacob officially filed a complaint with HR, and during the latest episode, his meeting continued. Ignoring a call from Sarah, who was searching for Charity at the hospital, he opened up about the distress he had endured. He explained that she had made his life unbearable and admitted he could no longer handle the pressure. He also pointed out several inappropriate remarks she had made, including bringing up his past relationship with Maya Stepney. The HR officer showed understanding, but warned that without solid proof, the case would likely come down to conflicting accounts. She suggested a transfer as a possible solution, though Jacob made it clear he wanted to remain where he was. Soon after, he discovered that Charity had gone into labour inside a lift and rushed to help. On the way, he encountered Todd and informed her that he had officially reported her behaviour. Todd attempted to regain control by warning him about potential consequences for his training, but Jacob stood firm, insisting he was no longer intimidated. He then hurried off to assist Charity, leaving Todd visibly frustrated. Jacob later reunited with Sarah near the lift, where Charity, Mac, and Ross were trapped. As Charity's condition worsened, he went to find medical help, but Todd was the only available doctor. She stepped in and took charge of the emergency, guiding the situation as Charity's condition became critical. Seeing this more compassionate side of Todd raises the question, will Jacob continue with his complaint or reconsider his decision? In Emmerdale, Dr. Todd takes things to a disturbing new level by using baby Layla to manipulate Jacob in a tense new spoiler. Todd had agreed to start over after medical trainee Jacob dropped the formal complaint he had filed against his so-called mentor, who had been tormenting him for quite some time. As viewers have seen, the ruthless doctor has made Jacob's working life miserable ever since he began his full-time role, constantly criticizing him, undermining his choices, and destroying his confidence. After reaching breaking point, Jacob chose to speak up and reported her to HR. However, Todd managed to regain control when she stepped in to assist Charity Dingle during a dangerous labour, delivering the baby that was believed to be for Jacob and Sarah. Todd then twisted the situation to her advantage, convincing Jacob that her dismissal could put future patients at risk. When he refused to withdraw his complaint, she uncovered a crucial secret about baby Layla's true parentage, namely that Jacob is not the biological father. As previously revealed, Charity had been intimate with her ex Ross Barton around the time the embryo transfer failed, leading everyone to wrongly assume the pregnancy was successful. Wanting to give Sarah the child she longed for, Charity kept quiet about the truth, allowing others to believe the baby belonged to Sarah and Jacob. Once Todd discovered this, she quickly used the information to blackmail Charity, pressuring her to persuade Jacob to drop the complaint or face serious consequences. Charity struggled to convince him, but eventually Jacob agreed and withdrew his report. Relieved by the outcome, Todd promised a clean slate when Jacob returned from paternity leave. In upcoming scenes, they cross paths again at the hospital as Jacob and Sarah prepare to take baby Layla home. Jacob feels uneasy when Todd approaches and studies the baby, remarking that the child resembles him, something that cannot be true given the reality of the situation. She then begins praising him, saying his mother would be proud and that he has what it takes to balance both fatherhood and a demanding medical career. Her sudden kindness leaves Jacob confused and suspicious. Has Todd genuinely changed, or is this just another tactic? Given her earlier warning that his ordeal was far from over, it seems unlikely she has softened. While Jacob may get a brief break during his leave, Todd is expected to continue pulling strings behind the scenes, even involving Vanessa Woodfield to maintain control. The question remains, how far will Todd go to ruin Jacob's life? In Emmerdale, Moira and Cain's relationship faces serious strain as an emotional confession comes to light in a new spoiler clip. In the latest footage, Cain seeks comfort from his late father Zach, opening up at his graveside about his fears regarding the future of his marriage. Moira has only recently come back to the village after being wrongly imprisoned on a murder charge, and she's been struggling to cope after losing Butler's farm. At the same time, Cain is dealing with the weight of his prostate cancer diagnosis as he prepares for a major operation. Together, these challenges have taken a toll on their bond, leaving the couple feeling increasingly disconnected. In a special episode centered entirely on their relationship, Moira grows more worried about Cain and shares her concerns with Chas Dingle about how things are falling apart. Elsewhere, Dr. Liam Kavanagh notices that Cain isn't himself and makes an effort to reach out and support him. Liam visits at Moira's suggestion, hoping to encourage Cain to open up, as he has become withdrawn once again. He is shocked when Cain confesses that he is considering cancelling his surgery, and he quickly informs Moira and Chas about what he's said. Cain questions whether avoiding the operation might be easier, suggesting that it would mean everything could stay the way it is. The storyline aims to highlight the realities of prostate cancer, focusing on the difficult decisions and consequences men can face when dealing with the illness. One major concern is the life-altering side effects that can come with treatment, such as erectile dysfunction or loss of bladder control, leaving patients uncertain about what their future will look like. These fears weigh heavily on Cain's mind as he struggles to come to terms with what lies ahead. The actor behind Cain has explained that real-life conversations with people affected by the condition helped shape the storyline, with some expressing that they chose to continue living despite the side effects because it gave them more time with loved ones. Cain is particularly anxious about how the surgery could impact his relationship with Moira, especially when it comes to intimacy, and the show does not shy away from addressing these sensitive topics. In Emmerdale, Ross faces a heated warning from Charity next week, following the intense birth storyline, but will he really stay away from baby Layla? After the dramatic events, Ross finds himself confronted by Charity, who fears he could grow emotionally attached to his secret daughter after helping bring her into the world. Wanting to stay in control, she firmly tells him to keep his distance. The tension unfolds as baby Layla is welcomed home after her chaotic arrival. Once the paperwork is completed, Sarah and Jacob Sugden begin an exciting new chapter as they are finally allowed to take the baby home. Farah's barn is beautifully prepared to mark Layla's arrival, and the mood is initially joyful among the family and friends. However, things quickly become strained when Ross shows up, creating an awkward atmosphere between him and Charity. Pulling him aside, Charity makes it clear that she doesn't want him getting emotionally involved with the baby. Ever since he assisted during the lift birth, there has been a growing risk that he might start to see Layla as his own child. At present, Jacob and Sarah believe that Layla was conceived through IVF and is their biological child. However, with Dr. Todd now in possession of the truth, it may not be long before everything is exposed and the situation spirals out of control. The drama continues on ITV1 during weekday evenings, with episodes also available for streaming on ITVX.